podcast, Picks and Perspective with Chris Johnson.
Episode 30 with Clay Gober of Polyphia.
Paradox.
We talk about his recent sobriety, our super cute doggos, and what it's like to set healthy boundaries as an adult. You should listen to his music on the Players Pick podcast playlist on Spotify.
We try.
Yeah, you do a really good job, dude.
Thank you.
You're one of the most entertaining groups around. So that's one of the things is like if there's been a lot of great players that have come and gone on the earth, but not all of them have been as funny as you fuckers. So fuck the rest of them. I'm with you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, dude. How you feeling on this tour?
It's good. Yeah, just slaying it when we can, where we can. Not to go on a too hard of a note right off the bat, but actually earlier this month decided to get sober. So having the crutch of alcohol, for lack of better words, has been a really, for me, a crucial part about, loosening up and being able to really get in the entertainer shoes in the past. And I can't think of 2 shows in a row in the last few years I've ever done sober. So
wow.
This tour has been kind of my experimenting with that. And I guess we're like 6 or 7 shows in or something like that. And just kind of trying to, refine that spot. And yeah, it's been, for me, like a big part of this tour so far.
So is it just cold turkey then?
Yeah.
And did you have something happen in your life that kind of brought it on, that made you feel like now's the time to do this? Or is it just kind of like a whimsical, you're like, I'm going to try it different this time?
I wish I could say it was just whimsical. I mean, I'm such an extreme dude, and like almost every facet of my influence has come from like excess, from my music taste to my mere behavior has been very like everything or nothing, I guess.
Sure.
So yeah, I mean, just it's a combination of just a couple of really voluptuous hangovers mixed with it kind of being time,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess those times where you have a little bit of behavior that kind of scares you, and you're just like, okay, I really need to get my feet wet in this and see what this is all about, and kind of see what's on the other side of the curtain. Is it really as scary as it might seem to just go balls out sober, and yeah, it's a lot more, it's really revealing. You find out when you don't have the comfort of numbness, so.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's not enjoyable that you've been, that I know that I too I've been
right,
running from your whole life on some level or another, right? Yeah,
and there's cliches that you could put with it, like, well, you find out after you make that plunge that what you were afraid of that whole time isn't necessarily even there. And you're also, you're able to retain parts of your experiences that you wouldn't normally like experience, and so there's a lot of benefit to be drawn from just by really being there and present for all that stuff that, is still pretty intimidating. I'm still nervous before every show, but,
wow,
embracing that, there's like stuff to be learned, I guess, and I'm very much still learning, and I'll be probably pissing myself tonight, but it'll be fun,
Well, in a strange way, I bet for the listeners, it's probably interestingly good to hear that you still get nervous after playing so many hundreds of shows at this point all around the world, right?
I'll tell you what, man, I'm yeah, for sure, and I'm, also intimacy is like another thing that's very hard to like wrap your brain around. I still get more nervous for 5 people than I do for 500. So, It's just the dynamic of experience, I guess.
Do you feel nervous right now with this?
Oh, not with you here, bro.
Okay, good.
You put me at ease, man.
Oh, good. That's good, man. Well, it's good to know that that we chill each other out. You know?
Yeah, dude. Always.
We've known each other for quite a while now. Back, man, it was probably roughly 7 years ago.
Yeah, dude.
Something like that.
You came out after we'd finished a tour, and we had that spa day.
Oh, yeah, you guys came. Yeah, well, I got you guys at the NAMM before that. I think that's when we met.
You may have met Tim and Scott.
But not you.
Yeah, I honestly...
that sounds right.
That probably was our first or second NAMM.
I partied with those guys that NAMM. That's why I remember that.
Dude, it's not so much now. Well, I guess I'm having my first sober NAMM here in a few months. But
nice.
NAMM is intimidating for me, you know, because it's... comparatively speaking, like comparing it to say like a show, you know, like for me it's not all about like being a shredder. It's more about the all around general experience and like showing people a good time and having one yourself and sort of for half an hour or an hour or whatever sharing this experience, you know. At NAMM no one gives a shit how fun you are. It's that's the cliche of it, you know. It's like it's very you're brushing arms with like, you know, everybody. So, yeah. It's a little bit different for me.
It can be a little impersonal, and people are probably selfie prone all the time to come and hang with you and like want to go down that road with you, and it's less one-on-one because it's such a loud environment the whole time.
Dude, yeah. Every second day of NAMM, my voice is shot,
dude. Oh my
which
God.
is always a good time. But
I know that one well.
Yeah,
that's like every day. I mean, every NAMM for the last 10 years I've worked, and it's like day 2. And I used to get fucked up at NAMM every year because that's what everybody does.
Yeah.
The last 3 years in a row I've been sober for NAMM just because I don't want to feel like shit. I smoke a little weed, but I don't drink. I don't do the thing.
You get burnt out real quick.
Yeah.
It's like for me, it's like a NAMM's like 3 or 4 days depending on when you get there and when you leave, but like the short tours for us, like sometimes when we'll go to Japan for like a handful of shows, real fast burnout because it doesn't even feel like a tour. You're just like on vacation, so you act like you're on vacation, and you know, NAMM is the same principle. So
yeah, and really, like your body doesn't take a day off. It needs it needs to rest and recuperate every day.
Exactly, especially when your hotel room is the party location. You're just like, good God.
Yeah. I don't miss those days at all.
Get out of my bed. Get out of my bed. You're not staying
room.
Here tonight.
Yeah. And the Hilton, man, is usually where you probably stay too, right? Or do you guys stay elsewhere?
Sheraton or the Hilton or something. I don't know.
I've stayed at that Hilton so many times, and just like my room has become the party zone.
Yeah,
most of the time. Or I feel bad for the sucker that we end up like mobbing to, like a group. You know, the mobs just show up and they're like,
exactly.
This is our
dude,
room
they,
now,
They
fuckers.
only come in groups of 15.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't leave till like early morning.
Yeah,
usually. Unless you plan on mobbing to someplace else, and that's what you have to do. Is you have to get the mob to mob someplace else to save the room.
Yep. And then you dip out of that mob, and then
right back to your room.
Go to bed. Send out the group text of keep everyone out of here.
Yeah.
Tired.
Yeah.
I got a crap.
And I need you guys gone, man.
Yeah.
Like I need space for that.
I definitely need space to crap for sure, dude.
Yeah. I want it to be quiet. I want it to be chill.
Yeah.
Give me time with my phone.
That's where I meditate, dude.
Oh, nice. Yeah, that's perfect. That's the best. That's a good place to meditate.
Real talk.
Yeah. Because, if you sit up straight and take long, deep breaths, man, you have a better chance of a longer, intact coil.
Uh-huh.
Like, right? So, like, I think it's one of those things that maybe Devin Townsend probably brought to my attention. He was like,
You've done yoga with him, right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, he actually comes out. I usually teach yoga in the mornings at NAMM. At that Hilton in the basement. Last 3 years in a row, I've kind of had little small impromptu classes.
Dude, I've always wanted to come hang, but I'm always just like crusty and.
Not this year, you won't be.
I know, dude. There's lots of possibilities on the horizon.
Grab some coffee and come on down, man.
Yeah, dude. Real talk.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens this year. I don't even know where I'm staying yet, but I usually stay there. So.
Right.
Well, I'm curious, like, what's your history with guitar picks? When was your first? Do you remember like your first guitar pick and who gave it to you or anything? And how'd you get to play what you play now?
I think it was the dude. If we're going way back to like literally the origin of me using a guitar pick, like really thin ones. They were blue. I can't even remember like what brand or anything, but I was just strumming around on like acoustic at that point.
Sure.
And I guess I just got thicker and thicker, man. You know, used this brand called Clayton for a while, and I always felt swaggy because my name's Clayton. So, but when I joined the band, they all used sharps for like, you know, just that aggro style of playing, like metal playing at the time is like really like that's the type of music we were playing. And I just thought, damn, they play guitar really well, so I should just copy them, you know. And when my playing style kind of began to really formulate and personalize to like, and I began to have preferences, you know, and like actual needs for like what it is I was doing, as opposed to just like copying, you know, Tim and Scott. I 114 Tortex sharp is like all I can vibe out on now.
Got it.
And you know, if I was more versatile, I'd probably, you know, use those bass picks that are like, you know, the same on each side or whatever.
The triangles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I've tried using those. I've gotten I've like a few of those ones that you slip on your finger at home if you want to like play classical, pick. Yeah, or like whatever. I've been like trying to vibe out with those, but yeah. I just like use what works, and I figure why screw with that.
It's really unique though that you adapted to use a sharp on bass, because I'm sure there's a couple of other bass players in the world that play sharps on bass.
Really?
But not very
well,
many.
I know it's not really common. Our one of our old tour managers used to give me crap about that all the time, because he said that it like, I guess, chips away at the string and like fucks with that somehow.
It's got a bit of an edge, yeah.
Yeah, but I change my freaking strings like every 2 shows anyway.
So you're good.
From all the sweat anyways, so yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think even 114 like rounded, I can't get that precision like that I would get with like a sharp, with like the sort of roll pick pluck thing that I do with like triplets and quadruplets and shit like that. So
it almost seems as though the pick at this point, your style and the pick are synonymous with each other.
Yeah.
Like you can't do what you do now really without having this shape and this size.
Yeah, I guess when you find what really works for you, you kind of grow with it.
Yeah,
you know, it's your build.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Again, super unique. I think you're the only one that I know of that plays a sharp on a bass. I actually brought you guys. Let's see if I have
presents.
It right here. I brought you a sharp. It's just because. Well, I brought weed, but we're not smoking it with you, bro.
Maybe next time.
Yeah. I brought you guys some of these though for everybody.
Oh, dude,
those are the new Jeff Loomis signatures. Those are actually 1.5 sharps.
Okay.
But they're made out of Ultex.
I think I saw you post about these guys.
I probably did, yeah. And you should pull one out. They got a little bit of a raised grip. It's not a real aggressive grip. It's a little thicker than what you're used to, but they'll last a lot longer because of the Ultem. So they don't round off at all.
Yeah, dude.
The tip.
I like the has sort of a grip right here with that logo on it.
Yeah,
that's tight.
I guess to try it out.
Yeah,
maybe,
for sure.
Maybe it's not too thick because this is a little bit more than what you're used to. But yeah, something to try out.
I'm stoked.
Yeah. And so it's just really been that. Like you had early days, it was some floppy picks when you're playing guitar. Was there like a Tortex or anything else? Is it Clayton's for a little while?
Yeah.
Was with the Eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the vibe. Little white ones.
Yeah.
When you just like, as the playing style gets more aggressive, you just need something a little sturdier.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that might be me over there. Here, I'll throw that guy in silent. Ooh, my girlfriend. Hello. Hey, babe, I'm doing a podcast right now. I'll probably talk to you soon, okay? All right, love you. Sick.
Cute.
Yep.
How long you guys been together?
A year in August.
Amazing. Congratulations.
Yeah, dude. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I saw that you guys have obviously been together for a little bit. I didn't know how long, though.
Yeah.
And you're already missing her and stuff. And,
Oh, yeah. Every day, man.
yeah. She's back in Texas?
She's from Arlington, which is where I'm from. Pantera represent.
Yeah.
I met her summer of last year. She was just home, but she was going to school at UT. So I got to spend a lot of time in Austin, which was really sick. Austin rules.
It's amazing.
Had a nice pho spot and a nice vintage thrift store down the street to waste all my money at. And she just got accepted this summer to a master's program in NYU. So she's in Brooklyn.
Oh.
Yeah.
So you got to bolt out to Brooklyn then when you're...
Yeah, dude. Been spending about... I've been up there twice to see her. Spent 2 weeks each time. She lives in Bedford-Stuy.
Oh, that's cool.
Really cool little area. Weather is different than what I'm used to, as volatile as Texas can be. But, yeah, it's been cool. You know, in the same way, going to Austin all the time was cool. Just, like, branching out and getting to, like, explore other places. And still lots of coffee.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, I love Brooklyn, and Bed-Stuy is cool. My buddy Drew used to live there, and I used to go and stay there once a year when I was out there. I mean, now he's out here in LA. So
nice.
We've been
all you guys wind up in LA, bro.
I know, man. It's weird. It's weird. I definitely didn't like think that this was going to be my thing at all. You know, and I still kind of think that it's only my thing for a little while.
Yeah.
You know,
dude, I've had so many conversations lately with people, even that want to move out to LA or have lived there, and just the common denominator of like getting out there, working for a while, and then kind of going back is a lot of times what I hear. So I don't meet a lot of people that are like, "This is great. I want to live here forever." Nothing against LA, but myself personally, it's just like too fast paced.
Yeah, it's like it's crazy because things are there's a good reason to want to be here, and there's a lot of great reasons. Like the weather's great, right? Like I mean, and the ocean's great, and the area's great, but it's so compacted, it's so dense, full of people. Yeah. That it just kind of ruins the party. Right?
Exactly.
You know, and it doesn't matter how many creative people are down the street. It doesn't matter how close your closest ramen shop is, your closest weed store is. After a while, it's just like, wow.
Just like, damn, I wish I had a front yard.
Yeah, I just wish I could like not hear like 30,000 dogs bark in the neighborhood for like one day.
Yeah, I think it really heavily depends on like how you react and respond to like different stresses.
Yeah.
The greatest of which is just like noise and the lack of like solitude, I guess, you know. So.
Yeah. I'm thankful now. I'm living in my own spot. It's quieter. I can drown out the dogs a little bit, and I can drown out the noise.
There's certain areas that are like you can really get that. Our tour manager lives or he just moved, but he lived in Echo Park for years.
Oh yeah.
And he loves it. I don't think he'd that's the one guy that comes to mind who's just like, yeah, I could live and die here.
Echo Park's cool, yeah.
Yeah.
And I get the vibe that, like, if I would have moved here 10, 20 years ago and been doing what I'm trying to do now or whatever, something close to it.
Timing is a huge thing.
I'd probably be like, oh, dude, I don't need to leave because it's, like, weather-wise, everything's great. And I could see moving outside of town or, you know, somewhere adjacent.
Right.
But just not in the middle of Hollywood like I am right now. Like, this is a limited time thing. You know, it's just limited time.
Yeah.
And like I said before we started, like I come from a small town, and part of me just, even though I know that I would get bored in too small of a town, I kind of yearn for.
You got that soft spot,
that smaller town vibe where it's like you kind of know everybody. You know, oh, that's Jim down there in the corner. He's had that store for 30 years. You know, and tire shop. You know, you go talk to Wes. He's gonna hook you up. You know, it's like you know everybody, and that's cool for a while. and then you know everybody, and that's not cool after
Yeah.
a while.
Well, one thing about like big places like New York or LA is that before I went out to Brooklyn to visit Drew, my girl, I guess the expectation of like everyone's like bumps into you, get out of my way, and like it's so fast paced and whatever, but it's much more like community oriented for like a great part of it. I feel like even though it's not a small town, like assuming that you like hang out in your neighborhood a lot, there still is sort of a feeling of community where like you know see the same people all the time, and they're like, "What's up, dude?"
Totally.
Like, yeah.
I've got that at my weed shop and my ramen shop and my coffee shop on the end of the corner. Like, they all know me.
Depends on where you regular at, you know.
Exactly. You can create community just about anywhere.
Yeah.
And I actually do find that in the larger cities that people are actually kind of more receptive to it because they get less of it. They get less if you're open and smiley and like interested in people. There's like almost at first they kind of weirded out by you.
Yeah.
Like, what's your problem, dude? You're a little too sunshine. Maybe you should drop it down a minute.
Small town dude needs to get out of here.
Yeah, like, what are you doing,
Come back.
NorCal? This is SoCal. Like, take that to the beach, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, but I get a little bit of that, but most people are just like excited and surprised that you're interested in talking about anything.
It's kind of a common misconception that you like just get swallowed up and shut out, and it's like, you know, no one cares and kicked to the curb and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Depends on how you, I guess, act.
Yeah, what you're holding, what you're harboring in your heart usually is the thing that you find.
Bounce back.
Yeah, so if you're kind of feeling like it's going to be that way, you're right. It's going to be that way. You're going to find that.
If you want to be a dick, though, you know, I'm sure they'll won't be surprised. You know, just fit right in.
Yeah, exactly. I know that like New York, I found that people are like more like, I don't know, say like assertive aggressive. Like they're just like more in your face. They'll like ask you all the things.
Yeah.
And then they just clam up and go on about their way.
Yeah.
Cali and like West Coast is more like the kind of like passive aggressive, like around you, like skirt around the thing, bro, and like, oh no, it's good, no, it's fine. Like New York will tell you, no, that's not okay.
Yeah.
Like, don't do that. Don't do that when I'm here, okay?
Yeah.
It's nothing personal. Just don't do that. But in Cali, it's like, oh, bro, it's cool, man. And meanwhile, that inside, they're like, man, I fucking hate when they do that. You know, like they won't tell you the truth. You know, like
just bottle it up and talk to other people about you later.
Yeah. Yes. Passive aggressive. Like, so it's. I mean, it's not obviously not that way 100% either way, either side of the country. But those are my kind of primary experiences, I guess.
Yeah. Dude, also in New York, I love how people talk.
Yeah?
Like, you know how in like America there's this like, I don't know how to put it, like this romanticization of like a British accent. Like it's sophisticated and all that shit.
Totally.
That is how I feel about New York people now. Like the thick accents. Yeah, I love people watching. I love eavesdropping there. It's like a real treat.
I do enjoy it too. I have some good friends on Long Island, and they are very Italian. It's a very Long Island.
Yeah.
Very Long Island, you know, and it's like, oh, I mean, I don't even do the accent any justice, but like it's hilarious because there's the things, you know, you try not to be a judgmental asshole, but you're like, whoa, like a lot of these things are kind of true about you guys. That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah. One of my old roommates was like Italian New York vibe, and he still watches Jersey Shore to this day. Like he hasn't let go.
Well,
and his family is just super entertaining to like. His dad's like a preacher and just like the funniest family to like just observe and hang around. Super nice people though.
It's cool.
Yeah.
Sounds funny, especially if it sounds like there's a sense of humor with the family, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All their own for sure.
Well, and you know, that's actually leads me to ask you about your particular way of seeing things in life, and I'm curious, like, how has it changed, and how have you found now, especially probably it's evolving right now with the sobriety, I imagine, but like I know there was a time where you were hard stance against Christianity, anything against Christianity, right? At least in a playful way. I don't know if that's still like
Glad
a real
you've seen
thing.
all my Instagram stories.
Oh, dude, I've seen them all. Not all of them, but I mean, you know, I know that you used to give the old drummer a lot of shit too.
Oh my God! Yeah, don't even get me started on that. Yeah,
but I mean, what I'm getting at is like, you know, what gets you through? Like, what's your? Do you have anything that kind of, you know,
sort of an anchor?
An anchor, yeah.
Definitely like in the context of like maybe how that's changed with sobriety. Like, still not really. As far as my stance on religion, it's not always like I've gathered that it's not always like it's not cool to like take a shit all over like something that is like someone's rock, you know? And that's just my my existential troll like coming out, and I still do retain the notion that like even if something is an anchor to like a large number of people, I still think it can be toxic in its falsehood. But as far as like what gets me through, I don't know. I just feel like it's in you, you know. I think it really helps people to cope with a lot of things, to find any, you know, external thing to worship, I guess. But I just I don't know. Just, you know, take it easy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's good. I mean, but it's funny. I find for myself, because I was raised Christian, and for a good while, as I came of age, I kind of was like, I'm not gonna like engage that, because I read enough and I knew enough about the downside of Christianity and religion in general, and so part of me wanted to talk shit, but I never really did, because I was like, the jury's out. Like, I don't really know, because my parents and my family were so into it.
Uh-huh.
It was hard to ever like give them any trouble about it, because I just want them to be happy and I want them to be
exactly
like safe and
it's
not
different
be
when it's
about
so personal. You know, you would never. Well, maybe not, but like it's definitely easier to like talk shit on the internet, first of all, for me, you know. But yeah, I mean, you don't. I guess I've tried in recent, I wish I could say years, but really like this year, just try to understand that like while you still like it is more personal when it's like your family and all that shit, like those people still like it's still a coping mechanism to them, and
right.
As toxic as it is, I'm not gonna do anything but piss them off. And while as fun as that is at times, you know, it's kind of a waste of time,
right?
In my opinion, you know, and I'll probably still hop on everyone. Like, last night I said something on the mic about it, you know. I think someone said like Polyphia is my favorite Christian metal band, blah blah blah, which is like a joke that no one else in my band will break down the facade of. They just get tickled by it, but I just was like, just kidding, that's bullshit, you know. So yeah.
Well, it's fun to play with, because at the end of the day, we're all religious in some way or another.
I just think it's not okay to invent things. It's toxic to invent things to worship. It's like worshiping Harry Potter or something.
Sure.
You know? And I think the most organic, healthy, real way to do that is to look within. That sounds super cheesy, but I think there's like a lot more peace of mind to be drawn from, which is why people look to religion. It gives them peace of mind. It helps them cope with dying, other people, their family dying, like loss, all that shit. And it seems to be quite a bit more beneficial to all parties involved to just like, you know, meditate it out. And
I agree.
That sounds like a really vanilla way to put it, but you don't have to give it away. You don't have to draw a picture and name this thing to give it that power in order to experience that power and that self-control.
Yeah.
And in my infinite fuck-ups in life and, like, all the shit that I've gone through, I can certainly imagine and understand how someone who had been through way worse than me would feel a need to worship something that was invented by men. You know, I have it really easy. Like, as much loss as the next guy, but I really am lucky, and I've had an easy life compared to some people. So, and that's one of the reasons why I try not to talk shit on it, is because, like, a lot of people have had darkest hours than me, and, you know,
Sure.
who am I to shit all over what they picked to help them cope with, like, loss and fear and, you know, any number of things like that.
So you definitely have some empathy towards others suffering.
Yeah.
Sounds like.
Exactly.
I think it's interesting because I kind of walked away from the Christianity thing and was like, set that down, TBD. You know, I'll come back around, and because I'm not really into the wars, not really into all the crappy shit done.
These phenomenons that have
all this stuff, but all these years later, I've come back around to it in a strange way through yoga, through studying Hinduism and Buddhism a little bit, through the yogic practice. And kind of seeing how they see God or gods, is especially in India through Hinduism, that they're just avatars. Like, everything is God. Like, they believe in one true God there too, basically. But that everything and everyone, that we're all different masks of the one infinite,
different, like, manifestations.
Yeah, different energy. Yeah, that we're all manifestation of the one true infinite energy that set this thing in motion. And some people have called it God and made weird religions about it.
Yeah.
You know, some people have done that. And so when I started seeing it from that point of view, I was kind of like, oh, so Jesus and this whole thing is just another thing that man was trying to feel safe about the stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he really was real. Maybe he really did some of those things, but it's thousands of years later. We need to get our shit together and, like, live now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like we need to do this now. And that's what Buddhism kind of showed me, was the whole look within and, you know, find it for yourself.
Those Eastern, like, practices are really the only ones that I'm aware of that don't really, like, aren't so much resemblant to, like, the U.S. Constitution or something, where it's like, this is what you have to do forever.
Right. They don't have commandments.
Yeah, it doesn't. Because it's more oriented as such a practice, not like a rule book.
Correct.
It seems more to me that it would make more sense in the grand scheme of things with shit like how times have changed. Christianity was invented when you had cities and towns that were spread apart between vast areas of land, you know, and I would say the same thing about the U.S. Constitution, you know. It's it doesn't apply in the same way because aside from its sheer falsehood, it makes little and less sense now with, like, how much the world has evolved. And, like, how much we've learned, you know, through, like, even through, like, studies of animals and shit. Mm-hmm. And, like, you know, learning about how we've evolved. So.
Yeah. Well, and it's an interesting cycle of thought and how people use it as a crutch to feel safe about death, about dying, and about what to do in life. And it's also, what I feel is really interesting is that Christianity, before it was turned into a Christian, like the state religion, okay, there was plenty of books that involved the talk about reincarnation, but when it was he became state sponsored by Constantine and was put in all the books put together, it was officially used as control over people, right?
Yeah, and
so
then it gets lost in translation too, and there's infinitely more control from that.
So that's when something like that adopts the commandments in a way, and they say, "This is you, thou shalt not do blah blah blah." Meanwhile, all the East is saying, well, you can get it right this lifetime or not. It's cool, man. Like, what do you want to do? Like, do you want to keep suffering? Keep suffering. By all means, keep suffering. If you don't want to suffer, then maybe don't do some things. Mm-hmm. You know, like, just try to like clean up your shit a little bit. Like, don't muddy the water so much. Mm-hmm. And that's my style. I'm like, oh, don't you tell me to do something, I'm gonna go do it. I'm gonna find a way to go fucking do it. Yeah. But if you go,
the rebellious teenager inside you.
Yeah. At 42.
That's me, dude.
Still me, dude.
25, and I'll still be rebelling against nothing when I'm 52.
Yeah. Until we relax around the thing. Like, I think that's the only a few things that I can say that I've started to relax around in my life all these years later. But and I realized I didn't have to try so hard. I didn't have to rebel so hard. Like me rebelling against the thing was actually encouraging the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and
exactly.
And that's still tough for me to...
static energy of, like, resistance, I guess.
Yeah, you're giving it energy by even acknowledging it. Mm-hmm. And then by you raising your voice about the thing, you're like...
You promote it.
You're promoting it. It's exactly
regardless of if you're promoting its sheer stupidity, you know. Mm-hmm. That's that does tie into why I've kind of tried to, like, chill out a little bit.
Sure.
In my shit talking.
but that's what one of the staple, like, things I love about you and the band in general is that you guys like to kind of, you know,
stir up the pot
a little bit. Yeah. You know, get the rabble rousers going, rah, 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 you know, what's going on? And you guys are just like, I just have the visual of you guys just geeking out and laughing so hard
it's
every
so
time.
Accurate, man.
Yeah.
Very accurate.
You're like, oh my God, I'm going to shitpost this, and then you're going to shitpost that, and then it's going to fucking cause all this trouble.
Yeah.
And then...
We're just like, you know, negative YouTube comment farmers.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah. Thanks, dude.
It's the best possible way you could go. When like there's so many the couple things, like when you guys started out in the early days and it was more of kind of a gent thing, and you know, like the heavy A-string guitars, which you guys have been kind of doing a little bit more of, which is cool. I'm glad that you guys are kind of like playing all eras in a way, mixing them together. Yeah, that makes me really happy,
dude. For the preach.
Yes, I can't wait for the new stuff because of that. Hopefully that stays kind of a theme.
Definitely.
Yeah, but to set yourselves apart, and that's the one thing that social media really can do in a lot of ways. You could everybody can have all this great guitar playing and great whatever. You could be the most masterful composition, but if we don't know who you are,
right, then
it's like we don't really trust you.
Yeah.
But like when you guys keep it street level and joke with us all the time, like even the kids that don't know you, we kind of feel like we kind of know a little bit of something about you.
Yeah, we I don't think we would get half the amount of enjoyment out of this that we do if there wasn't that element of personality that we were able to express in our just meme-ness, I guess, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So
you're meme as fuck, bro.
I know, dude. My meme is Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself.
That is the meme of the times.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean,
it's my favorite knock-knock joke, bro.
It's like Rogan has been beating it to death, too, and I just keep reposting and keep reposting.
Yeah.
You see, there was one that was on the other day. It was like, I don't know if he posted it, but he showed it on the pod. I forget. Maybe it was with Wu-Tang or something. But it was like they showed a graphic, and it's like how to avoid being suicided. And it's got a guy like choking another dude. It's like these block characters or whatever. But it's just there's so many infinite ways.
Yeah,
to find.
Dude, my favorite one, Rogan reposted it. This dude was on Fox, and it showed the clip of the end of his interview on Fox. It was a dude that trained like canine, like police canine unit dogs. And so they got done with this segment, and he was like, "Hey, can I just like put out a little PSA there real quick?" And the guy was like, "Yeah, real quick." So he said a little bit that it was pretty much he said, Like, if you aren't going to, like, train these dogs, don't get them because, like, people are so irresponsible with their fucking dogs. And if you're going to buy one, get one that's already trained, this and that. And Jeffrey Epstein did not kill himself. And, dude, I lost it.
It's amazing.
And whoever originally filmed it made it so much funnier because they were just howling, dude. It was so good. Just like blowing up the bomb on Fox.
Yeah. No,
Perfect.
It's good that it's made it into the mainstream. That's part of what is great about a meme like this, something that's so reoccurring and so prevalent, is that it makes so many people look into the fucking thing.
Yeah.
Right? Like, so many people are talking about the thing. Like, why is everybody saying that he didn't kill himself? Because we want you to look into the fact that he didn't kill himself. Right?
Yeah.
So
it's nice when reality and memes, like, kind of intertwine, I guess.
Meme is saving the world on that one.
I know.
In particular. You know? That's like a political activism. Just share that meme.
Yeah.
You know?
Seriously, dude.
I mean, because it's a really crazy thing to, like, if you just follow it out, if you just follow that spiral out, just
you don't even have to follow it that far.
2 or 3 steps, you're like, oh wait, Bill Clinton was on the plane with him 23 times.
Yeah.
And he went to Fuck Island. You know he went to Fuck Island.
Yeah. He's got ties with Trump too.
Oh man, you know?
Some of Trump's campaign staff. It's pretty yucky when you, like, even just shallowly look into it. And then you realize that behind closed doors, at least I feel like a lot of those guys are just, like, on the same team anyway, like Republican, Democrat, whatever. It's like, I don't know. It's weird, dude.
No, it's
kind of makes you uncomfortable. You wish you wouldn't have read it because you're just like, oh my god.
Yeah. 2 sides of the same coin, playing one against the other all the time. Oh no, it's those evil other side. Oh no, it's the other side's doing. Yeah, no, if we would do it if the Republicans.
All the world's a stage, man.
I'm so sorry. You know, it sucks. I'm curious though. After we talked about all that religious stuff, what do you think happens when we die?
Same thing that happened before you were born. You're just not anymore. Yeah,
just blackness.
And I do find a comfort in that. Which I don't know if I could self-proclaim that as being, like, weird or strange or anything, because relative to, like, most people find it comfortable to think that, like, I'm a good guy. Bad people go to hell when they die, and I will go to heaven or some sort of eternal salvation or whatever, where I can, you know, be with my loved ones that passed and all that shit. But I do find some, like, relief in knowing that this is, like, my only shot. And I think there's, like, also a resolve to be drawn from that. Because you'd play a lot smarter in video games if you had, like, you know, one life.
That's true.
And there's some anxiety that sometimes that comes with, to know that, like, you know, with every day that passes, you know, you won't get that back in any life. So I find it comforting.
So
you know?
You feel like it's a purely biological existence, basically, that we're a biological, you know, species that just replicates and then passes away and just keeps replicating, and there's not like an energetic quality necessarily that
we're just on repeat in eternity.
Yeah, like a tree that just has leaves that fall every year type of thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. Essentially.
Just grows more trees.
Yeah. To the earth we shall return.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, and I can subscribe to that. I mean, I'm on the side of, I like the mystical feeling of the energetic quality, even if it's not this identity, which I don't believe it's this identity. If anything lives on past this, I don't necessarily feel like I'm going to look like or feel like this, you know, and I don't think I'm going to go see loved ones in heaven or anything.
Right.
I don't think that, but I do think the possibility to have some cognizance, maybe for a little while, even just after death, of like something might
reflection.
Be, yeah, there might. I would hope. It'd be kind of neat if there was.
Oh yeah,
you know, just to like maybe get a couple of answers, you know, or just like,
yeah,
oh shit, the reason why that all happened was because of this.
Yeah,
That'd be
even if
interesting.
you could, even if reincarnation was real, which like I've never died, so I don't know. I don't think it matters. I've done relatively little psychedelics enough to be able to say that. I don't know, maybe if I like trip DMT sometime, I'll be able to like, see into my past life or whatever, but I'll tell you right now, I can't remember my past life if there was one. And so if there is no like knowledge or insight to be gained from your past life, then why ponder on it,
Yeah.
I'm trying to humble myself, which is an ongoing process, to like really like admit that I don't know all the answers, as fun as it is to like talk about them and like think like, about the possibilities. But it doesn't really matter. I think it's a lot more efficient and an effective way to live if you just kind of live in the now in that way, I guess.
It's more real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll give it that.
More realer than just about anything.
Yeah. So that being said, like, what do you care about most?
Damn, that's a heavy hitter, man. I'm not like free from distractions, so I can't say that at all times I'm even like thinking, even like being sober, like you still have ways that you like to like cool down and not be so aware of what it is you care about the most. I don't know, my family, my friends, my this might sound arrogant. There's really no like humble way to put it, but like everyone has like a legacy, the way you made people feel, the whatever impact you had on people. For me to say, what do I care about most? Well, the impact that I have on people. That feels like a little cocky, like in its own right, but like I feel like there's really no other more important thing than like leaving people, feeling good after talking to you.
Sounds like you're telling me that relationships are really important to you.
Yeah. And the clarity that I not to dwell on it, but the clarity that I hope to attain by getting sober, I really hope affects my relationships in a positive way. And I don't just mean my relationships in terms of like who I know, but even beyond that, like what did I do? Because I'm sure, cliche, but the music you listen to, like probably never. I mean, you probably talked to all the guys that you grew up listening to, but
most of them. But
I mean, it's like how did your work and your collective work make people feel? It's not just about who you come like into like face-to-face contact with, but just like another cheesy thing, but like the message that you exude in all ways, especially in this realm of social media, just I don't know. Yeah,
you're strangely kind of a do-gooder, Clay.
Yeah, I don't know.
You kind of come across as a pretty good guy.
I like to think so.
Yeah, maybe that's why we're friends.
Yeah, dude. I try not to be a big piece of shit when I can, avoid it. But
you're obviously very conscious, and the fact that you care about how your actions land on other people says a lot about you. Because we can be narcissistic and kind of like care what people think about us, but it's a different thing when we care about how people experience us. Right. Because it's like the like what other people think about you is kind of like, oh God, I hope they don't think this. is kind of like the narcissistic kind of cliche thing. But when you genuinely like, oh man, if I were in their shoes, I might have. Maybe I should go back and make sure they know that I'm here to help or whatever it is, So you fall on that latter side to me. You feel like it seems like you're interested in people's actual experience.
Yeah, one thing now you mentioned like just now like, oh well, like I hope they like didn't get the wrong idea or whatever. Mm-hmm. That's one thing that can be like a pretty slippery slope. You kind of have to. I've found that it's not always like an effective mode of living for you to be overly concerned about you through the scope of others. And it's also like it's not always a really good way to live if you like really let it get to you too much. So I don't know, try to hold on loosely when I can manage to, and not more dwelling on the topic of sobriety and the clarity that I hope it'll give me. I'm like a really big yes man. Horrible at saying no to people. I hate disappointing people. I hate not pleasing people and whatever. Like if I'm super busy doing something and my homie comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man, I love you, dude." Hugs me. "You want to watch a show, bro?" I'm just like, "Dude, you can see that I'm busy. You can see that I don't have time." Yeah, dude, let's do it. Just like just to make them happy and not to like, make them sad. So there's another scope that you have to see it through that involves like stepping back and understanding that like if you're going to be able to benefit people in any greater scale, you have to be okay with sometimes saying no and like letting them down. And that's cool sometimes, you gotta keep your priorities straight, I guess, on that.
I hear you.
Way.
I feel similar. I feel similar in the yes person. I've been one to overdo it, and like that's why I've been good at like service jobs. Sure, yes, I'm right there. I'll get behind the desk. I'll be like, "How are you doing today, sir?
Yeah,
can I get that for you?" Like I can work the desk. I can do the thing, and I think for folks that find themselves predominantly in that place, one big chunk of life's work is to learn how to set healthy boundaries.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And to say, well, not right now. In about an hour, I'll be ready.
Yeah.
And I can do the thing. Because for me, it's been framed in a way of learning how to give in good faith. And because if I reluctantly say yes to the thing internally, then I automatically begin the pile of resentment towards that person.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Right?
Oh, yeah.
And if I keep saying, yeah, cool, sure, no problem. Oh, okay. Then it's
I can feel it. I'm there, dude.
It's so tall, and then
yeah.
And then the only way to undo that is to go back. And I just had to do it with a friend recently. Thankfully, it wasn't a tall mountain of resentment. It was a small one, but it felt so good even just relieving, say, "Hey, we've got to talk about a couple things, man."
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry that I didn't say something earlier, but this is what's going on, And
yeah.
And it felt so good. He felt so good. Everything's cool, right? Yeah. So learning to give from a very positive place where you're willing to actually give up the thing, and go, yeah, you know what? I'll set this actually all the way down.
Yeah.
And I'll actually get up and go all the way in there and do the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
Because I love you, and I'm willing to make the sacrifice right now.
Yeah, and you're not gonna enjoy that interaction or whatever activity or whatever if you're in your head, "God, I hate you. Why did you do this when you knew I was busy? I hate myself for saying yes." And altogether, it seems to be more like to benefit all parties involved more when you either say in an hour, because then you get an hour more of your shit done, and when it's time to go watch Eastbound and Down, you can, really be there.
Totally.
And also just like being reasonably empathetic really helps. And not always concerning yourself with other people's pain. You know, that's when you want to help people, like, it seems mathematically, like, correct to, like, do what they want, you know. It's hard sometimes to exist around people who aren't on that same wavelength, you know, and they don't understand, like, sometimes understand space, and aren't obviously sensitive enough to know that you're really pissed that they, like, made you get up, you know. So one tactic I've had is, and you can do this with, like, people you're close to, is expressing your take on it. Like, oh, man, I'm kind of stressed out. Well, why, dude? Well, fuck, man. Like, I feel like my time is not my own. People keep pulling me in this and that direction. Maybe it's kind of a petty way to do it, passive aggressive. I like to think of it just more as like a passive little implantation, you know,
it's informational.
Just kind of filling people in on those shortcomings and how. Because it really is just a shortcoming, you know. It's not that 1 hour that ruins you. It's like the continued need to sometimes be left alone. I guess in that context, just saying no to activities, you know, and I don't know. It's it really does add up, especially like, you know, when crunch time hits for whatever it is you're doing. Like for me, it's going on tour, and you know, like the week before you go, or when because all of our like band rehearsals go down like less than a week before the tour. Other than that, it's just like solo practice. And, you know, when it's nearing time to go, your dog's face looks a little extra sad, you know, especially my dog. He has like sad boy face. And there's more stress because you're just, you know, and family and friends are like, oh, you're going to be gone for however long soon. Let's do this. And you're just like, I'm a week ago would have been better, man. But like, this is not the time. So,
dude, the dog face is me leaving my house every time I leave my house.
Yeah.
Kimsey's so cute and just like
know,
she's
dude.
trying to like, you got the keys in your pocket. I'm definitely going, right? I'm definitely going.
Yeah,
like,
especially because you bring her everywhere.
I usually bring her a lot of places. Here in LA, it's been a little different because she has a big yard and there's another dog there, and we actually have a yard, which is dope. But so I don't take her as many places here.
Yeah.
She used to go to but I work from home now, so like it's different. You know, the office is at home. She used to go to the office with me at Dunlop and all that stuff. But I could totally relate to the crunch time thing.
Dude, every time like my dog, when I put pants on, he knows I'm leaving.
Buddy.
Yeah, it's rough. Like, and most of the times in the morning, like, I'm either going to go get coffee and just be back in, like, 10 minutes or whatever. But, man, my dog just gets crazy separation anxiety because, like, right when I got him, I went out for, like, 4 weeks. And I think I'd had him for 3 weeks or something. So, you got to be really careful with that before you get a fucking pet.
Yep.
You know, you really have to, like, plan that out in terms of just, like, setting expectations for like how long you're going to be gone, because it's a mystery to them, you know. And that is anxiety for them, you know, is not knowing, like, are you going to be back tonight or are you going to be back next month? And what kind of pup is it that you have? He's a black lab, pit mix.
Cool.
Yeah, he's a mystery.
Yeah.
CC.
They all are a little bit. Cece, huh?
Yeah.
How old?
I think I got him. He's probably 2 months. I think he's pushing 3, dude. Holy shit! I think he just turned 3.
Oh.
I got a big cake waiting for him when I get home, bro.
Congrats, Cece.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, Kimsey just turned 6.
Nice.
So, we're going down the road, man. I love that dog so much.
Yeah, dude.
It's you talk about dogs and I'm immediately missing my dog. I wish my dog was
Yeah,
here.
I'm about to tear up right now, dude.
I just left my dog at home, Clay.
Yeah, dude. It's rough. It is as rough as leaving. Sorry, Mom and Dad, but it really is like pretty close to the same as like leaving a significant other or like a family member or something like that. You feel, and you kind of feel like more of a piece of shit because they don't know.
Yeah,
like they're not marking it on their calendar. They're just like,
no.
Is his roommate my new owner or like what?
Dude, that right there kills me. Like that does. It took me until when I really woke up to that. Like they don't get it.
Yeah.
They really don't get it. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, dude. You ever see that the video of the dude who put like a GoPro on his dog and then like left the house and then just to see what the dog's like
I don't think I've seen it.
mannerisms and response would be? Don't watch it, dude.
Oh, it's horrible, huh?
Yeah, you already feel like a piece of shit, but after you watch it, don't put a GoPro on your dog and then leave the house because
you just see the dog looking out the window waiting for your ass.
Sitting at the door waiting. And you're just like, God, dude.
Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. I'm good on that. I already have enough guilt.
Yeah, dude, same.
I like what you said earlier, though. I want to just repeat it. You said reasonably empathetic.
Right.
Towards and not to take on everyone's like pain or everyone's problems. I just want... So this kind of strangely applies to the dog.
Yeah.
Reasonably empathetic because you got to do stuff, and they are safe, they are fed, and it's part of.
They don't know that you're going to get that bread.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna go make money.
You gotta go
to get your food. Yeah, so there is that part of it. But I like that because it's so useful. In this day and age, I think probably all ages, but it's so useful now because our problems are broadcasts. Mm-hmm. A lot of it, right? We even if they're just minor things, we broadcast a lot of stuff to each other, and we all know we all have X amount of people in our feed that will broadcast louder about more personal things than they should, oversharing.
Oh yeah,
and it's easy to take on, especially if it's friends or family that you don't automatically just block and like delete. Mm-hmm. It's easy to take on their frustration, especially if you are empathetic at all. Mm-hmm. And so there's a reasonable amount of it that you can be kind of sensitive to and engage, but there's a point at which you kind of have to let the kid kind of ride the bike, fall down, bruise the knee, get up, and like learn how to like not do that again. You can't babysit all your friends and family to get them to the right place because it won't work anyway.
Yeah, it's one would call a waste of time.
Yeah.
And I've even become more aware of my personal tendency to, you have your friends that'll want to hear you out or be down. You have your friends that'll be down when they're drunk to hear you out, and like they have their own personal responses that you'll get, and maybe you go to them for that reason. But I've become aware that sometimes I need to be a little bit more courteous to other people in terms of what shit that I'm letting rain down on them relating to my problems and shit. And
totally.
Like even if they did care, but it really does go both ways. And you can it's definitely cool to have people and to be that person for other people that they had a shitty day or like if this unbelievable horrific thing happened, like you want them to be able to come to you at any time.
True.
But waking up late and missing your test at school is no reason to like rip your friend away from like what it is they're doing.
That's a good awareness too, because and I had to do it with an ex of mine. We at one point we were living together and we come home and we'd want to trash talk our day and complain about the thing. And we also went to therapy for a while. And I remember the therapist saying, look, it's fine. You guys can slaughter your day to each other. You can tell each other what's going on, but put a time limit. The other person has to be willing to take what you're giving. Right.
Yeah.
So, and you can do that with friends too. And I found that if you're feeling really heated and you need to get something off your chest, say, hey, can I just like talk a lot of shit for 5 minutes? You know, so I can just get this, and you don't have to even respond. You don't have to fix it, and that's almost better, right?
Yeah,
because
it really sucks when it's indefinite. Like,
oh, dude,
you're just like,
yeah,
looking at your watch, like, dude, is this just today? Like, is this the rest of the day? Will I ever be free? I have this one friend who, me and my brother talk about this. He's a tailgater. You can be in one room and he doesn't have to be complaining about something, but so I guess this doesn't super closely relate to that, but he'll follow you around. You can walk to the kitchen, he'll follow you to the kitchen. You can go take a piss, he will follow you to the door. And you pee with the door open because you don't want to literally slam the door in his face. But he is like a puppy dog, dude.
Damn.
It's funny. And sometimes I just test it out. Like, I'll like walk out the front door in the driveway, smoke a cigarette, follows me out there, go do the trash, all in like a 15-minute span.
And this is like based on him like telling you story or kind of relating to you?
It could be his day. It could be some like... You get you say one wrong thing and he's like, oh yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, and then you're just like, fuck, I was hoping you wouldn't, because now it's a trail, dude.
Yeah. I've got a couple of friends that are in a similar place where they and it's helped me see it in myself too, but it's like people that are constant self-promoters, like just like endlessly shamelessly self-promoting, and it's funny because a couple of friends that I'm thinking about, they don't necessarily know that they're doing it. I mean, they know that they're doing it, but they can't see themselves in the act.
Yeah.
And if you were to point it out, they'd just be like, "What? I'm just having conversation."
Exactly. It's just how some people are.
And you're like, "Bro, you ever
mess
same story
with them and try to change the subject and just see if they'll like,
oh yeah,
go back to the original subject." I know this one guy. Actually, I know a couple of guys who aren't good at saying thank you. And you can just be like, dude, that is a fucking sick tattoo. That's my favorite tattoo of yours, dude. And they'll just be like, yeah. And you're just, it's funny to play with them sometimes just to see how, because you know how they're going to respond.
See how far you can push them to.
Yeah, like, dude, I love that guitar. Like, yeah, it's pretty fucking sick. And
they just keep it. They keep taking it. They're like, "Yeah, man, I'm super sick, and I'm associated with that guitar." And so I am the dopeness.
Yeah, I am the dopeness.
I mean, you did come to hang out with me, right? Like,
yeah, it's like I know syndrome.
Yeah,
like Han Solo, you know.
It is the I know thing. Yeah, that my one friend that does it so hardcore is like the thing that the story he wants to tell. Could be like 3 times, 4 times removed, but he'll find one word to connect the dots. Oh yeah, well when I was doing the thing, blah blah, and you're like, wait a second, this was not about that, bro. Yeah. And now the conversation's about you and that thing.
Anything you bring up about yourself, sometimes those people are just so good at like tying it into like their own experience with it.
Yeah.
Before I was in a relationship, I would. Every once in a while I would like read up on like just articles on like how to engage in a conversation that like someone will enjoy. People really like talking more about themselves. That doesn't necessarily mean you should always talk about yourself, but if to be flattering to anyone in any mild way, or to bring about some mutual enjoyment through like any sort of discourse, ask a question. Like, there are people I know that have like asked me no questions other than like obligatory sup. And then even when they say sup, I'm like, I really have nothing to offer, because like I know that they're not interested in like the specifics of like what I'm up to or how's it going or whatever. So you're just like, yeah, sup. It's like a dual sup.
Dual sup. Yeah,
Playing lightsabers with sups. Yeah.
Sup. Yeah, I think the you're onto something there, because when and it doesn't necessarily, you don't have to be flattering necessarily, but if you're interested in somebody, even in the smallest way, and you express it through a genuine question, genuine concern, question, then that starts something.
Yeah.
And you have to be kind of ready for it. Not everybody is ready for it. Some people would rather be just glued to their phone and and be asocial, and that's fine. But I find that it is, to me, it's more interesting in a conversation when the two parties are actually interested in listening to each other. Right?
Yeah. If you kind of look at it like a dance, and like looking at each person taking part in the conversation as a sort of dancer, it really puts into perspective like how they truly are. Some people want to dance, some people want to show off. So
neither one's wrong.
Yeah,
but
it's cool to show off, like, but it's not like what you want to do like every time you talk to someone.
Right, it's context. Devin was another good, like, one of the things we talked about when the day that we did the pod here. We had this long-ass drive from San Diego together. I went down and picked him up at Mike Keneally's house, and we were driving back, and we just kind of, it's kind of our thing. When you hang out with Devin, you talk shit about people in a fun way.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah, really? Is that guy cool? He was like, does he I don't like his hair.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I'm being honest, I don't like his hair. Like, you like his hair? Like, like we play this really funny game where we're just like, be super honest, dude. Do you think his fucking pants are cool or not? I'm like, his pants suck, dude. I would never fucking wear those pants. We just have this fun dialogue around shit. And one of the things he brings up, he's like, it's cool when somebody's a salesman. I get it. Somebody's honing their craft. If they're selling themselves, they're selling a product, or they're representing a company, that's fine, man. Like, give me your spiel. But then take the mask off and set it down every once in a while, at least. Show me that you're just a dude. Show me that you're just a chick. Like, because that is what ultimately ends up making me trust you.
And that's where relationships are built.
Yeah, and then we have something.
Yeah.
Because outside of that, if it's all sales and it's all show and it's all like impressive statements.
Yeah.
Well, when I accomplished such and such, and I did the other thing.
Name droppers.
Yeah, and I live in that world, and it's an interesting thing. So studying that and other people has made me reflect on my own story, right? Like, I'm like, why did I tell that story?
Dude, same, yeah.
Fuck.
And sometimes it's cool. Sometimes it can be really funny and like cool.
Sure.
But like sometimes I think about the shit I have said and the vast connections I have drawn with myself, and like like being like 2019, and just like, if you're on the same management company as like this other band, and you just, I like this band. Oh, well yeah, we're on the same management company. Like, we might as well like smoke the same cigarettes. Like, it is crazy. Like, the conclusions that my younger self has like bridge between me and other people just to like look cooler. And
Same.
It makes you look like a fucking dildo.
Same. And doing this job, I've been doing this job for over a decade now, and there's like some cute girl says, "Oh, I like so." Oh yeah, I work with them.
Yeah. Sometimes it can be funny, and they'll be like, "Oh," and you're just like, "Yeah." But if like that's your only move, it's like you're like a button masher name dropper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had to check myself a few times. Just in it, I look back on it now in those moments, and I realize that most of it comes from a little bit of anxiety and wanting to be seen, heard, and liked. Right?
Insecurity.
Like, I get it. So if I can see that I want to be seen, heard, and liked, accepted, just like everybody else, then I can cut them a break a little bit when I catch them doing it, and I can try to correct my ways of doing it.
Yeah.
I can tighten up my ship. And not be...
Seeing other people do it really makes you take into consideration like all that you've done.
Yeah.
I went on a sushi date one time, and it was like not the hottest girl in the entire world. It was just like not anything to like be really like... I didn't go into it thinking like I'm very threatened or like nervous or anything like that. So I didn't prepare anything to say, which is like sometimes helpful, like on a first date, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And I went in and had nothing to say, and it was like this way of coping with silence. I just instantly started talking about myself, and I left as soon as I sat in the car, I said something out loud like, "Wow, I fucked the pooch on that one, really." And she never called me back.
Yeah. Just like how that guy just wanted to talk about himself all night.
Yeah, and I remember this one silence, and it was like 4 seconds, which is like eternity on a date. And just taking this deep breath, like, so I'm going on this and this tour soon, and just like, Gober, what? Like, I could have said anything to bring about some mutual level of like whatever, like conversational trust, you know, like and like a mutual interest, and I just looked interested in myself like a vain dick.
Well, at the moment, you know, you didn't know that you were really that interested in her, so it just like seemed like the safe bet to go that route, I guess.
Exactly.
Know? I've been there.
Yeah.
Well, before I know we've been going for a little while here. I want to move to the next section, or the next idea here is I'm always curious, what have you been listening to lately that you might like to share with the listeners, and extra points for bands or artists we might not know too much about.
Extra points for Pantera.
Yeah, extra points for fucking Pantera,
dude. Lots of Pantera lately. I go kind of through phases. Like, I'll find like 1 or 2 albums from a band that I'll like just slaughter for like a matter of months.
What albums are in rotation from the Pantera?
Definitely Far Beyond Driven. I found that I have kind of a weakness, weirdly, cosmically almost, for stuff that came out in 1994, which is the year I was born.
Sick.
Vulgar Display, from like front to back, I'm just
devastating,
beating it into the ground. And some of like I was always a Cowboys guy, but some of Dime's best solos are on Far Beyond Driven for sure.
Dude, you could say any of them were your favorite, and I would nod my head.
Shedding Skin.
Yes.
Oh, dude, what's the opening track? Strength Beyond Strength.
Strength Beyond Strength.
Dude, like their brand of heavy just is so visceral to me on that record.
Yeah.
And
it's a trip, man. That
every single part of it is just really stunning to me right now, and all together. Trendkill too. Mm-hmm. I haven't beaten that one into the ground so much, but it's funny to look at it like a concept record.
Totally is.
Which it really is. I mean, when people think concept records, they think of like weird, like progressive, like out there stuff like Tool or like Rush or something like that.
Sure. But Dream Theater.
I don't think there's anything really harder than a fucking like good old fashioned like southern like metal record, you know, like Pantera. It really, like, that thematic element to it is like super fun. Even like hearing certain riffs like in like the same riff in different songs, just like kind of glues it together in a way that's like, I don't know, just really special to me. That
album is super special for a lot of reasons. I mean, I love that you were born in '94. I mean, I was 16-ish.
They were your first show, weren't they?
First big show. Yeah. I mean, talk about stories that I've told. Like, that's the story that I tell.
Was that Vulgar?
No, that was Far Beyond Driven.
Oh,
yeah. So
bro.
I was living in Portland, and Yeah, man. I mean, I've been to a bunch of smaller shows, like Christian shows, that my parents have made me to go to and stuff like that. And
you have your first shows, and then you have your first show.
And that was my first show. Like, I remember I'd moved up to Portland from Northern California for like a whole semester with my mom. I was still a junior in high school, and my best friend that I started playing guitar with, Ryan Miranda, we were just like Pantera freaks at this point. A friend of ours kind of like made us listen to Vulgar enough. We were just like, oh god, dude. Then we went back to Cowboys and all this whole thing. And that album came out, and I was felt like 2 states away from him, my best friend. And I kept like calling him and writing, man, this album is killer, man. What do we? They're coming to Portland. I'm gonna buy us tickets. He's like, but I don't know how I'm gonna get to Portland. I'm like, dude, I'm gonna drive down, pick your ass up, and turn right around and come right back up here, and you'll take the bus home.
That's so badass, dude.
So we did that shit. We went out with some chicks the night before, got stupid drunk. He got way extra stupid drunk, tried to talk about showing off.
Nice.
It was fucking hilarious. It was like a classic scenario. We were drinking tequila, and he just thought, oh yeah, I'll just drink like a solo cup. I'll just pour a solo cup full of tequila. Yeah. And just like show these girls
it out of the bottle
that I can just...
I can hang.
We were on the Willamette River, dude. He was naked, and it was not a skinny dipping party, but he made it a skinny dip. It was amazing, dude.
Wait, did anyone follow suit?
No, nobody followed suit. That was part of the hilarity.
Oh.
And then I had to kind of collect him and put him in the car and like get him home.
Dude, everyone has like the friend that like gets naked.
He's not really the guy. He was not the guy that should like.
Not after that, I'm sure.
No, it just affected him that way that night.
Yeah,
I just remember him being out in the water and like throwing his like shorts back at the shore, going
like all the chicks are gonna be like
and these were super cute girls, and I was like, oh man. And then like he had to take the passenger seat all the way home, 'cause I had to take the girls home first, and so he's just like hanging his head outside the window and just puking all the way home.
Sick.
It was an amazing ride.
Sick.
And Pantera was the next day, man. So like it was kind of a harsh thing, but
I'm sure the hangover was beaten back into him.
Oh, dude, he was fine. By the time we hit the pit, it was cool. Like,
that's so cool. Sweat it out.
Dude, yeah. I don't know if I should tell the whole story, but it was a really good time. We met Pantera, hung out with them that night. It was kind of this weird thing. Like we woke up the next day. He's super hungover, and I'm like, dude, we gotta go. Like try to find Dime. I mean, he's gonna be around here somewhere. Like they're in town. And we got to meet our heroes. And he was, this is like just me as being an innocent like first timer. I'm just like, why not? Like, let's meet him. I've seen the Pantera home videos. I know that they hang out with fans sometimes.
Yeah.
And so we went to Apple Music downtown, and I was like,
sure enough,
maybe he's gonna be here. Like buy a guitar or something. And we were there for like 10 minutes, and you know that Everclear song like. Swim out past the breakers and watch the world die or something like that.
Sick.
That was huge at the time, and it came on while we were in the fucking store, and I'm like, Ryan, it's that stupid Everclear song, bro. And I turned the corner, and there's the dude that like what was it, Alexis or Alexi or whatever, the guy, the Everclear guy.
Yeah.
He lives in Portland, and I was like,
what?
I just turned around and like walked away. I was like, oh my god. I'm like, dude, we just talked shit about that song in front of the dude.
That's so sick.
And we were like hiding over like 2 aisles over, like cackling about it, and like right as we're cackling about this guy walks in the door. He's like, hey man, we're roadies for Pantera. We need undivided attention. Can you help us? And I was like, Ryan, oh my god, I'm the smartest guy of all time. Pantera is here somewhere.
You're a scientist, dude.
Yeah, I'm a fucking scientist, man. And I go over to talk to this roadie, and he's like, he's like, man, I'm so busy. Like, go talk to that dude. And this other guy came to the door. His name was Max. Had a mohawk. He's like, that's Phil's boxing coach. Max is a cool guy. Go talk to him. And we're like, all right. So we walk over. I'm wearing a Pantera shirt. He's wearing this Red Devils consolidated skate shirt. It's just got a big red devil head on it. He's like, looks like you guys are big Pantera fans. He's like, why don't you just come to the gate after Prong plays, or in between Prong and Sepultura, and yell for Max, man, and I'll just come out and give you some passes. Come hang out with the band. The guys aren't here. I can't get you an autograph right now. I'm like, that's way cool. Like, we'll definitely come back and hang out with you. So we do that, and just like clockwork, the dude walks out. He's like, yeah, there's a couple of you guys. Here's the only passes I have.
Wow.
So put them in your pockets. Come back in afterwards. So we go, after the show was unbelievable. That was Chaos AD Sepultura. The Chaos AD had just come out. And so that was just like War for Territory, freaking, Biotic as Godzilla, all these great songs off of that record. Snap Your Finger, Snap Your Neck was the fucking Prong tour. And then it was Far Beyond Driven.
Yeah.
And we went and chilled with the guys afterwards. They are super cool. Dime shaved my head.
That, dude, I was gonna say, I remember you telling me something about someone shaving your head, but I didn't want to like say it.
No, so I had a similar haircut, but my hair was really long and it was lime green. And the funny thing is I actually asked Phil to do it, right? I went over, he was surrounded by all these hot chicks, and I was like, yo, sorry, but Phil, would you shave my head? And he's like, I'm a little busy right now. Why don't you go ask Dime? Dime will do anything. And I was like, okay. So I go, hey, Dime, Phil says you're going to shave my head. He's like, you want to go down? And I was like, yeah. He's like, he whips out his walkie-talkie, and he's like, Big Val, I need another 12 or a Coors and Phil Shavers on the double. And like, dude, it felt like 2.5 seconds, and Big Val was standing right next to him going, here. And we were like, whoa. Like, it was so crazy. And then he gets the camera out. Somebody's filming him shave my head. And there was one of the kid that wanted to go down too. So he shaved my head, and when he realized what he could do with my hair was the exact same color as Max Cavalera's wife, Gloria Cavalera.
Yeah.
She's like the tour manager and Max's tour manager and all that stuff. He's all, look over there. You see Gloria? He said, she's got the same color hair as you. She's gonna wake up tomorrow. Don't think I freaking shaved her head. And he's putting my hair into a Ziploc bag, like during this whole time, right? And filming. So somewhere on one of the ancient they're in the archives. Like I've talked to Rita, his wife, a little bit. I told her this story. I said, Rita, man, one of these days, like, I'll pay you. Like, you gotta go, like, open the vault and let me see if we can find July 10th, 1994. We've gotta fucking try to find it. I'll just make a copy of it. Forever,
what a relic, dude.
Dude, it'd be the coolest fucking thing if it still existed, you know? But the funniest fucking thing of the whole night, now that I'm telling the whole fucking goddamn story again, funniest fucking thing is like, okay, he shaves my head. It's a fucking shitty job. It's like chunks. I got chunks hanging. He's drunk. We're just fucking hanging out. He's passing more beers. He looks over at my buddy Ryan. He does a double take, and he's like, looks at that Red Devil head shirt, this consolidated shirt, and he's like, dude, shirt's coming off. Phil's got to have that. and Ryan's like, what? And he looks at me. I go, dude, I think he wants your shirt. He says Phil's got to have that. He's like,
take off the shirt.
He goes, but it's not my shirt, man. I go, I know it's Jay's shirt. We had this buddy, Jay Bustamante, and he was kind of aggro back in the day. He was super, super straight edge. He's way cooler now. He's like chilled out. Like he was aggro, like straight edge back in the day. So we all smoke weed, and like we just couldn't hang out together anymore for whatever reason. He's like, I borrowed this from Jay, man. I'm like, we're going to fucking tell Jay that you gave his shirt to Phil Anselmo. It's going to be all right.
Yeah, dude.
And he's like, no, he's not going to believe us. I'm like, I don't care. Give him his shirt. Like, I had to have this conversation with, he's like, okay. And Dimebag's like going, he goes, hey, man, I'll give you a Pantera shirt or something. I'm all, yeah, just do the thing. He takes the shirt off, throws it over his shoulder. We keep drinking, talking about skateboards and random shit. Vinnie Paul, meanwhile, is going back and forth in a freaking golf cart, picking up loads of chicks, taking them back to the bus. It's gone for a while.
That's so rock and roll, dude.
Brings the chicks back out, lets them go, gets a different load of chicks, takes them back to the bus.
The party man,
dude. We were like, this is real life. This is like the thing, right? Like, this is what you really do. And at the end of the night, the bus call comes, and we're still hanging out. And Dime looks at us, he goes, hey, you two come with me. And so we go back to the bus, and he goes, wait out here, I'll be right back. So he goes inside, rustles around. He's supposed to be getting a shirt for Ryan. He comes back, and he's like, I'm sorry, guys. Like, I don't have any shirts. They put all that shit away. All I got is this. Here's some pics and a couple of these photos. And it was like old school, like a
Polaroid?
Like the black and white kind of like press photo thing, where everybody's just kind of standing. That's the classic thing that management would have in the 90s and 80s. They did all that shit, right? It's like, give me like 4 or 5 of those and a handful of pics. First guy to ever give me guitar picks.
Oh,
right?
You still have them?
I still have 2 of them. Yeah. I gave a couple of them away and I lost probably a couple, but and he's like, I'm sorry, I got to keep the shirt. He's like, I'll promise that Phil will wear it in a video or something. And we said, okay, buddy, no problem. We love you, man. We're out. Like, this is the best night of our lives. You know? So we take off, and we're just like, oh, my God, did we just hang out with Pantera? That was the craziest. What the hell? We didn't even. This is 94. We did not have cell phones. We're not even smart enough to bring a fucking disposable camera.
Yeah.
You know, we're just, like, so stoked that we're going to see the show at all. And fast forward a couple of, I don't know, that was 94. It was in 97. As Trendkill had come out, I was working at a new and used music store in Chico, California, called the Underground. It's not there anymore, but we used to get these imports, right? But they weren't imports; they're bootlegs.
Yeah.
Right, that type of thing.
Yeah.
And I found one that was 2 days after our show in Portland. It was in San Jose.
No way.
And I was like, oh, 2 days later, I'm buying that shit. So I take this VHS home, and I put it in and smoke a doob, start watching this thing, and Phil walks out on stage with that shirt.
Oh.
Right. And this whole time, of course, Jay Bustamante did not believe that we gave him his shirt and all this stuff. We were all in trouble because we fucking gave our boy's shirt away to Phil Anselmo because it didn't really fucking happen, according to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, bro, call Jay. That's on. But Dimebag didn't know it was going to be in this bootleg, right? And the funniest thing is that at like 3 songs in, Phil, like in between songs, he stops and he goes, yeah. He's like, throw your goddamn shirts up here. So Dimebag got me this from people. Fucking throw your shirts up here. And all of a sudden there's just like 500 shirts just raining cloth on the stage. I was like, Ryan, dude, we're people.
Oh,
he said
my
you got
God.
it from people. It was like super fucking funny. And then Pantera 3 came out. And if you ever go back and watch Pantera 3, the home video, there's just a quick spot where Phil turns and he's wearing the shirt and he keeps walking. I was like, oh, that was Dimebag's that was him keeping his message.
That's so beautiful, dude.
His promise, you know. So he said he would do it, and then he did it, and fucking goddamn it, Pantera.
That's so sick, dude.
So I don't know. When you start there, like,
yeah,
what are you supposed to do with your life?
Rest of your life's downhill, dude.
Yeah, if I didn't get this job all these years later, I would have been wasted, you know. I just been like that first
burnout.
time. Yeah, I just went to Pantera at one
Has
time.
been.
That was my touchdown. You know, it's like right out the gate. I'd been reliving those memories. I mean, I still do, you know, just because it's fucking sick.
It's a sick experience, dude.
Feels like 17 lifetimes ago.
Yeah, dude.
But other than Pantera, let me hear what else you listen to these days, like most recently. Do you have like a favorite bass player or a favorite band other than Pantera?
Honestly, let me think. I wish I could give you some sick metal band or something I've been jamming, but I think just a bit of Leonard Cohen.
Leonard Cohen.
Yeah, that last record he made before he died. It's called You Want It Darker, I think.
He's legend, man.
Yeah, dude. That last record he made was fucking really sick, and it has not to bring it full circle, but it has a lot of religious undertones to it, but the way, the scope through which his lyrics kind of talk about it is like super chilling. And dude, I hear they're like, me and my roommate were talking about this the other day. I hear they're thinking about putting out another record of his music. Really? Which got me thinking about like posthumous, is that how you say it? Releases? Yeah. Because definitely that vibe is like he knew it was going to be his last record. Very dark and like ominous. And I just thought like, wow, it would be a piss if you made him put out another record like after dying. You know? So
did you? That reminds me of Bowie. Did you listen to that last Bowie record?
I haven't. I've only heard the song with that video where he's
Check
like
it out
in the hospital bed and shit.
Yeah. I think that's Lazarus or That album is sick, especially knowing that he knew that was going to be his last record. When you kind of like delve into the lyrical content,
the artistry of it,
and the artistry, the poetry. Yeah, it's definitely something that kind of, it's more than just the words. It's the vibe and how it's said, right? And it's like there's a lot of ominous, dark, but yet kind of like somehow relieving qualities to it. Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of strange to me,
for sure.
That's cool. The latest Cohen. I'll put that on the list.
Yeah, dude. I think it came out in like 2016. I got turned on to him through True Detective season 2.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he does a theme song on that. So I was
really?
like, damn, this shit fucking bumps. I kind of want to check this guy out.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of classic tunes. I haven't listened to any of the more modern stuff, though.
His older stuff is like what you would expect. It's still good, but just a guy with that history putting out a dark record at all, let alone such a dark record, is really chilling and really sick. So, yeah.
Cool.
First day I heard that record, I tripped a lot of shrooms that night. Yeah.
It's that type of record.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely really cool. I think he was like Jewish or something. So even, just like someone who identifies as religious, to like put it through that filter of just sheer fucking badassery is like something that was very new for me at the time that I haven't experienced since. Things with any religious undertones, I'm usually like, blah.
Right.
So
that's kind of new territory for you in a way, right?
Yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on graduating.
Yeah.
You're
I'm enlightened.
now you can accept, like somebody that's been through it.
Yeah.
In that way, maybe. Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for being on the podcast. I'm going to wrap it up and say, dude, just ultra thanks, dude. I love you.
Yeah, dude, love you too. Appreciate you for having me, man.
Players Pick Podcast, Picks and Perspective with Chris Johnson.
This episode of Players Pick Podcast brought to you by our good friends at Jim Dunlop Guitar Products, Kiesel Custom Guitars, Mackie Headphones and Mixers. Sound design by Drew the Drew. Voiceovers by the amazing Minnie Joe. I've been your host, Chris Johnson. Until next time.